Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Welcome back to Plant a Garden TV. All right, we have some mosquito, guys. So, and also have on my long sleeve. The only thing, don't have on the long pants. But what's up, guys? Shout out to each and every one of you today, guys. Before we go any further, I would like you guys to hit the like button. If you can share the video, please share the video, because like I keep saying, these information, we giving these information live and direct. We even gonna be showing you the reason why. If you see the topic is, should we prune our bell pepper? There's a lot of videos out there where people are gonna tell you why you need to prune your pepper, why you need to prune your pepper. But when you look at things for yourself, when you've been dealing with bell pepper so much for so long, you understand. Because the thing is, we grow different type of bell pepper. So by growing different type of bell pepper, we learn a lot about growing bell pepper. So we want to share today if it make a difference when you prune your pepper plant. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of plants out there that love to be pruned. Yes, yes, yes. But there are also a lot of plants, it doesn't make sense whether you prune them or not. So we're gonna see a lot of video out there with, oh, prune this limb and take off this pepper. Let me tell you something. This pepper produce a lot of peppers, right? And you don't need to go through the pepper and pick off. Like some people tell you, oh, you need to pick off the young pepper first, the first set of pepper, pick off these. Some people tell you that. I'm gonna show you today how these plants operate for themselves. If a pepper plant realize it have on too much pepper, it's gonna release some of them on its own. We don't even need to put ourselves in that space. They will release them on their own, and I'm gonna show you today that type of I'm gonna show you today how pepper operate. But I'm looking forward for you guys to hit that like button, because like I said, it's real information you guys getting, and you're not getting no edited version. I'm showing you live. So I will appreciate today if you guys can help me get there to show some appreciation. Hey, King Nature, what's up? Blessings, blessings, blessings. All right, so meanwhile, this information is really good information. So meanwhile, I'm gonna walk around for a little bit, and don't forget, guys, hit that like button. The mosquito is vicious, man. So you see them? You see them flying around? Yeah. You know, someone comment under one of my videos the other day when I was basically giving an update on my bell pepper. And someone said, oh, your the pepper them supposed to have at least 12 peppers within that height. I've been growing these things for years. So the thing with these pepper grow pretty tall. These pepper grow 8 feet tall, 7 feet tall, all these kind of height. So this pepper grows. So you're not gonna see, they're gonna be 5 feet and you're not gonna see much pepper. But guess what? When they start producing, it's pepper like crazy everywhere. And I'm gonna be showing you guys that in a minute. So sometimes when a person, especially a person like me, in my garden, who shows you things live, in my garden, hey Tanisha, what's up? Blessings to you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. All right. Yes. So we're gonna talk about should we prune our bell pepper? Is it even make sense to prune your bell pepper? In a minute, I'm gonna let you see for your own self if it makes sense. I'm gonna let you be the judge in a minute. Tanika say, always love to see you keep. Blessings, blessings. Thank you so much. Blessings to you. Thank you for coming in. And at least I'm happy that you enjoying the videos. Thank you so much. But all right, we have 7 people up in the live. Let me see. 7 people. AVP, what's up? Blessings, blessings. All right, like I say, guys, don't forget to hit that like button. I will appreciate it. If you on your phone, please double tap on your phone and hit that like button. If you can share the video, please share the video, because this information is valid information. Hey, Kimami, how you doing? Blessings to see you. Yes, and everyone. Yes, blessings to see you. Yes. Kim, well, Kim, I know for sure. Kim Ami used to be in my life when I was in the winter. In the winter, when I was sowing my peppers, seed. I know she see them for sure. These are the peppers here now, Kim Ami. And some of them 7 feet 5, 7 feet 5 tall. These are the peppers I was talking about. So today, what we're gonna do today, we're gonna walk around and I'm gonna show you if it makes sense for us to prune our plant. Should we prune it or not? Should we prune our plants or not? Well, I just want you to look at these plants and you please tell me if it even makes sense pruning your pepper plant. Please look at these plants and I'm gonna walk around and I'm gonna show you all of the plants then. These plants, if you notice, you see everything full with their bushes, nothing pruned. All right? We're gonna walk around. These pepper now start producing. Even over here, they now start producing. This one here, we don't harvest from this one already. And we still have bell pepper here. Remember, these bell pepper did not prune. Okay, look, we have a nice big ripe one here. All right, look at them. You see in bell pepper everywhere. Look, another one right here. We have bell pepper there. We have over here again. And let's go up to the top of these pepper. When we go to the top, we see we have pepper up here again. This is the crown. We see we still have pepper up here. This is the crown of this one. We see we have pepper and blossom come down. We still have pepper. Look at this one here. We have blossom. We have peppers. We have pepper growing. Yeah, you see? Look over here. You see there, pepper blossom going all the way down. Remember, these pepper plant did not get pruned. There's a lot of information I'm going to show you guys today. Blessing, like you planter, and of course you did it again. Yes, with your pepper. I feel to do what you did back in February, but not again. I will. Definitely I did it again. Thank you, Ami, for that. Yes, so let's go again. There's some information I'm going to show you guys so that you guys need to stick around. I'm telling you, You guys need to stick around. You want to learn something about bell pepper today. Stick around, watch, just keep hitting the like button that the videos can get out there, guys. All right, so we're still showing the production without pruning. And these pepper basically now start producing, because this year, if you notice all up here, that's bell pepper. Look, if you notice all inside there, you see pepper everywhere. Now, I'm going to show you something here. There's a lot of people say, sometimes you have to take off some of the pepper when the pepper have on too much peppers. You don't have to do that. I'm going to show you what these pepper do. These pepper release some of the pepper. You see how it start? The one start turning yellow. When they realize they have on too much pepper, they start releasing them. You don't have to do that. The pepper plant do it for itself. Look, another yellow one over there. Look, another yellow one over there. And you have these green one. Once you don't need to do anything, they're gonna just do what they does. And let me I ain't finished. I'm just walking around and show you what is going on. You see there's two right here. It releasing these two. It have here. This is the same pepper plant here. You see, this is same pepper plant with 3 sprang come right up. This is one the sprang with all the pepper there. It have a next one over here. It have one here, and it also have this one, and it also have this one. This is one pepper tree right here. It's gonna release what it need to release. You don't need to do that. You don't have to do that. And for the people who follow me, I want you guys to continue follow me about this journey with these bell pepper. You guys gotta see in a few weeks how much peppers these pepper tree have on. Because right now, as you can see, we already harvest already. Look, we're going. This is a pepper tree. It's way taller than me up here. But if you notice, you see in pepper, or even up to the top. Even up to the top of the crown, there's pepper. Look at next one over here. This is the next one right over here. To the top of the plant, loaded with pepper. And like I said, I already make a harvest. Look this one. The peppers all up to the top. This is the one that almost 8 feet tall now. This pepper. Hey sissy, what's up, sis? Blessings to you. Yes, this pepper here is heading for 8 feet now. You see how I got to stretch up my hand? This is almost 8 feet tall. All right, this is a part of the limb. Let me show you here. Is loaded with blossom like crazy. This is what I'm trying to say, guys. So now you see all these pepper. They have peppers everywhere. We have 6 feet pepper. Look, this one here. You see blossom. You see pepper. You see a yellow one. It's gonna release that yellow one. So you don't really have to do these things. These plants already know what they're gonna do and what they will do. You see what I'm saying? So that's not your job to focus on that. No. So after I show you, this is another one here. This one here is another one over 7 feet tall. This pepper tree here. Over 7 feet tall. We already harvest peppers already. But now is the time that these plants now start producing. All right? Now, let me show you the plants them. They're full of bushes. I didn't prune them. They all full of bushes. Look at them. They have on all their leaf. They have on all their leaf and pepper everywhere they're producing. Right? Peppers. Peppers. Up here again. We have pepper coming here. We have bell pepper coming here again. All these peppers look coming in here. Peppers blossom. Even coming up here, peppers blossom. Now, let's have a conversation now. Let's really have a conversation. All right. Some people walk around with their scissors, all right, and they clip these leaves. They clip off these leaves off the pepper plant. Whether you pick them off, yes or no, the pepper still gonna produce. Sometimes, especially in the rainy season, these limbs help protect our pepper. These pepper leaf help protect our flowers, our blossom. Sometimes when the rain come heavy, when you come on the ground, you could see a lot of baby pepper, you could see a lot of flowers, you could see all that on the ground. These sometimes protect, so the rain is actually falling on the big leaf and run off. So sometimes pruning, for me, it don't make any sense pruning a pepper plant. It didn't make no difference pruning a pepper plant. It don't make a difference. They still produce anyway. This is what I'm showing you here. This thing is full with their pepper leaf. I didn't prune them, but they're producing like wildfire. Now, these peppers, some people say your pepper tree might have on too much pepper. Never heard that yet. But if it do, if that's the case, I don't need to go around picking peppers off my plant, believing it's too much peppers on the plant. From my experience, the pepper release whatever it needs to release. You don't know which one it's going to release. You might want to pick off 3 peppers from the plant, and the 3 that you pick off was 3 pepper that would have come to mature. So you never go around pulling off your peppers. You let the plant release what it needs to release, because you can be pulling off the good pepper without even knowing it. Okay, never pull. No, the plants will do that for itself. You don't need to do that. So this is a prime example here. You see how this turn yellow? It turn yellow because the plant's gonna release it. The ones them that stay green, the plants, them gonna stay and get mature, but the plants release some of them. So you don't need to go around pulling off your peppers, because you might be pulling off the peppers that's really good for your plants. That's really good. Let the plant do its job. All right? And pruning, it will make a difference. And by not pruning, from my experience, over here, guys, we talk from our experience. All right? My experience, for what I saw with these bell pepper, these are bell pepper that grow pretty tall. My pepper. Okay, wonderful, wonderful, sis, wonderful. Good to hear that. Wonderful. I love that. Right? From my experience, what I see with my own eyes, I seen pruning pepper, because I used to prune my pepper. I used to prune my pepper because I believe if you take off the big leaf, the nutrients gonna run up in the pepper and the leaf. It don't make no difference, because I did my own experiment and I see for myself that it don't make a difference. What I saw is when it rained, because this breed of pepper produces a lot of pepper. It produces a lot of flowers. So when I prune, when I remove these leaves, right? I remove these leaves. When the rain come, the rain fall down and it hit the flowers directly. Then when I look on the ground, I see flowers, I see small pepper on the ground. When I have these, what I've realized, these is help protecting the flowers on the young pepper, on the plant. So when the rain come, what it hit the leaf. If you prune it, take off all these leaves, when the rain come, there's no leaf for it to hit. What it hit? Your small pepper and your blossom. So this is my experience, guys. I'm speaking from my experience. It doesn't, to me, pruning pepper don't make no sense. I'm sure somebody else gonna say something different. But to me, my experience, and I'm a guy who been growing bell pepper for over 10, maybe like 15 years. I see bell pepper go up to 8 feet tall and counting. So I know exactly what I'm talking about. I did my own experiment with the plants and I seen it all. It don't make any sense pruning them. If you want to prune them, if you feel like going down to the bottom and pick them from the bottom, that's okay. If you feel like going down to the bottom and prune them from the bottom, that's all right. You see what I'm coming from? That's all right. But the top, you pruning all these, getting rid of all of these? No. What I've seen, it's open to losing a lot of peppers and it didn't make any difference to what these plants gonna produce or not. I'm gonna show you. They still produce massive peppers. They still produce massive. Wait, I have a you see this ripe one here? Yes, they still produce massive pepper. The trees them still get tall. They still produce pepper like crazy from the bottom go right up to the top. They produce pepper everywhere. You understand? Well, let me show you why I said that how these limbs help protects our garden, our peppers. Watch this. Check this out. Look what's going on here. Look what's going on here. You see how these pepper here expose? You see how the other flowers they expose? We need these these leaves that you see growing up there. We need them because if the rain start coming down hard, what it gonna do? It gonna beat off these small pepper and these small flowers. So you actually could lose your pepper them. So this is why I'm saying it's important. You see where this pepper is? Down here and it covered. Look at this one. It's down there and it covered. So we need these leaves. These leaves is what help protect. You see what's going on here? This is the flowers here. It have a pepper. We need these leaves to protect. If we remove these leaves, when the rain come, the rain gonna hit directly on this pepper and you could lose the pepper on the ground. You see what I'm coming from? So pruning to me, from my experience and what I saw in my own garden, I know what I'm talking about. I know it's facts I'm talking about. There was a time, look all up here, this pepper tree, this is like 7 feet tall at this moment. This one here is like 7 feet tall. Now look what's going on here. You see the flowers up there? If we prune all this, if we prune all these big leaf, we exposing these flowers, and by exposing these flowers we can lose them. We can come when the rain come and we could see them on the ground. I've seen it with my own eyes. I remember one year I was pruning my peppers them. I was going wild just pulling off the leaf them, just pulling off the leaf. Because I want them to focus on new growth and the pepper. There was a heavy shower of rain. A real heavy shower of rain. Hey Dave, what's up? Okay, right. And there was a heavy shower of rain, guys. When I come, I was shocked. I couldn't believe the amount of pepper I see on the ground and blossom. Because what I did, I removed all these leaves here. I removed all the leaf, so all the flowers was exposed. You see like this? You see like that? You need a leaf to be over your flowers because you can end up losing a lot of them. All right? You can use a lot of them. And it's not just bell pepper alone, it's many plants. Look at another plant here. This is also another sweet pepper. And look how bushy it is. I'm not pruning them. Look how bushy it is. And they loaded with pepper. This is one limb right here loaded with pepper everywhere. And I never prune them. So people tell you pruning them they produce more and all that. No, it don't make any sense. I'm telling you right now. Well, for my garden, it don't make no sense. I'm sure somebody is gonna tell you it's the best thing you can do. But for me, pruning pepper don't make any sense at all. Remember guys, this is my experience. This is my experience. I can only speak for myself, but the best thing for you to do is see for your own self and try and see what you do, how you try. You plant a few bell peppers, and then what you do, you prune some and you just don't prune the other, and look at the result. All right guys, so this is my pepper tree right here. This one is heading for 8 feet right at this moment. A few more inches up here, this one gonna be 8 feet tall. All right, this one here, this is the next one here. All these is over 6 feet tall. This one here is about 7 feet tall at this moment. Taller than me. So trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about, guys. So all I can say is, when you get information from someone or when you get information from me, what I want you to do is, if you want to try, what I want you to do is plant, like you have 2 plants. So you have 2 plants, what you do, you try one and don't try the other. And that's how you're gonna make your judgment. This is how you're gonna know whether it working or not. You have to try. I show you how it works in my garden. I show you pruning in make no difference in my garden. I even show you why I don't prune because I've seen for my own self what pruning caused 1 year by me trying to prune, and then when the rain come, it beat off the flowers them and they was underground. So I'm not pruning. The only pruning I might do is down to the bottom. Because when you prune down to the bottom, you also know that there's no pepper gonna produce down to the bottom. The only place you're gonna get pepper is up to the top. So the more it grow, the more it push out, the more flowers you see. So it's all about allowing the plants. And like I was saying, you going around and just picking peppers off your tree. The pepper release them for its own self. You see, the pepper already formed already, but it released for itself. So that pepper plant already know what it gonna release. But I say again, everybody grow their own way. Everybody have their own style and their own fashion, how they do it. This is how I do it. I refuse to prune because of my experience, and the plants, more pepper hold on the plant for that reason. Shading from the rain, more pepper hold on to my plants, and the production is always great. For the people who know me and follow this channel, they know every year how my bell pepper harvest has been. You check what I'm saying? So it's all about trying and see what works for you. No, we have a different pepper here. This is another pepper here, and this one is like 6 feet right at this moment. This one is an Italian sweet pepper. I'm not harvesting this because I want to see it right, because I need the seeds from this one. This one also, I need the seed from this one also. But if you notice, going all the way over here, right? All the way going over here, these things produce like wildfire. We have pepper coming up here. We have 2 right there. We have 1 here. We have pepper coming up here, even to the top, even to the crown. We have pepper. So this is the next thing, guys. This is the next thing I want to share with you guys. What I want to share with you guys is having peppers and they're able to produce non-stop until the frost. They've said pepper plant age in years. Well, that depends. Well, yes, that's true. If you're in the tropical, the pepper plant can grow for years. Even though you're in the place where they're winter, if you overwinter them, they also could last for years. So yes, you could have pepper tree. You could have pepper tree that lasts for a long time. That's true. But pruning pepper, guys, from my experience, is not even a good idea from my experience. All right? I'm sure somebody else gonna tell you something different, but guess what? It's your choice to try and see for yourself. Like I said, plant 2 of them, prune 1, and don't prune the other, and see the result. So this is how you get result. This is how you know which works best for you. which works best for you. Your plants only 4 years. Yes, a matter of fact, they're not even a years yet. These plants, I start them from seed, so this is just the 4th year. Yes, this is the 4th year. Yes. So what I'm saying is, if you want your pepper plants to produce continuously, because if you notice, I show you some of these plants right to the top, the crown, they still have flowers inside on top of the crown, meaning they not stop growing, they continue growing, they keep growing, and while they're growing, they keep producing. Sometimes, I'm going to tell you this, sometimes because your soil is not drained properly, because the pepper plant love their soil to be drained, meaning they don't want no water settle at their root. They want to get wet and the water run soak and go its way. They don't want their roots to be soaking in the water. Situation like that help stop a plant from producing. Sometimes in these cases, you see like to the crown, you see like to the top here, where you're going to be seeing flowers. What you're going to be seeing, you're going to be seeing these tops fall out completely. And the plant stop producing any new growth. These are things that create that. Water, too much water, soaking at their roots. Sometimes if you grow them in a container, sometimes you have that problem as well. Too much water soaking in their root cause them to, their top to fall off. And they stop grow and they stop produce. They're not pushing no more flowers, they're not pushing no more growth. In here, these well drained. The way I plant these, number one, I plant them 12 inches deep. 12 inches deep. Then the way I plant them, if the rain come, so the water gonna run out from them. So because they don't want that. So this is how your plants gonna continue. This is a way of your plants continue growing. And while they're growing, they just keep producing. Because a pepper plant supposed to produce until the frost. It should never stop. These pepper produce until the frost. When the frost come, this is when it dries them up. The last frost, the first frost, don't really do too much damage. But the last frost, that just scratch up all the leaf. But when the last frost come, we still having flowers, we still having young pepper, the plants them don't stop produce. And this is how pepper plants supposed to grow. They're supposed to continue, just keep producing until that frost. So this is information I'm giving you guys, and this is from my experience about growing bell pepper. And I grow bell pepper successfully every year because I understand what I got to do. I understand what I have to do. And guys, don't beat yourself, because you're not going to learn everything overnight. The thing is, what I'm doing, I'm trying to make things a little easier for you, so you could do less research. Because now I come and I tell you, okay, you don't need to prune your bell pepper, and you don't need to go around picking off no pepper because too much is on top of your plant. You don't need to do that. All you have to do is plant 2 pepper trees and do your research on both of them, and you will see your own result. So instead of you have to go through 5, 6, 7 years to get this type of information I'm giving you today. You could actually get it in months, in a whole season, one season, because all you have to do is try and see which one work better in your zone, how you do it, which one work better, which one produce some more, which one cause the plants to continue growing while it producing. Because at the end of the day, our thing is production. Our thing is production. This is not about just growing. We want to see production. Meaning when we come in here with a bowl, we're supposed to come back out with a bowl full of pepper. 2 days after, the same thing. Another 3 days, 4 days, same thing. Continuously. So this is my opinion. Pruning pepper, I don't think it's a good idea. Like I said, if you're pruning it from the bottom, and I'm going to show you sometimes how you got to be careful. Let me show you sometimes how you got to be careful with pruning. Now, I'm going to show you something here. Sometimes we see a limb like this. We just feel like, you know what, let me just take off this limb. This whole limb. But if you notice right there, you see a new limb is coming right here. So now, you might have pruned this and you might have pinched this off. But you see what's coming there? You see a new limb coming there. You know what could end up happening? This could grow and you could end up get a pepper from there. So you still have to be mindful when you're pruning from the bottom. So now if I'm pruning from the bottom, not the top, I'm not going up here to prune anything. I'll come down here and maybe I might take off this one. I might take off this one and I'll put it to the bottom right there, right at the root. But for me to tell myself I'm coming up here and prune these things, no. So if you notice how I plant these peppers as well, like I know I was mentioning to you, drain soil. So when the rain come and wet them, what happened? The water run off, come down inside here and run its way, come right out here. The same thing with this one. Same thing with that one. The same thing out there. So their root is getting drained. The soil is running. The water. Like for instance, let me show you right here. When the water drop here and it's soaked down, it run down inside here and it run itself out, go down there. So it's not settling at the root of the pepper, because that is what causing your plants. You see like we're going on here? Look, we're going on here. You see that? You see pepper growing, you see flowers. If the water is soaking, what you're going to see? You're going to see the whole top, they just fall out. And the plants stop grow, and the plants stop produce. Look at this one right here. Look how healthy this one looking. Look how much flowers this top. Look how much flowers this one pushing. Pepper, flowers all come down here on this one limb. But this limb need to be stick, because in another week or two, these gonna have on so much peppers that it might just pop the limb. But look what I'm talking about. You see, right to the top. They're still producing right to the top. Look at this one here again. This one is so tall, but watch, it's still producing. So this is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Peppers, you got to be careful with your peppers. You got to be careful, because I'm telling you, you could have a pepper tree growing, producing, and when the water starts settle at its root, you see like this, watch. You see it's rain. You see this type of stuff? You don't want that around your bell pepper. That caused them to, same thing I was now explaining to you. You see this plant love this. Edo, they love that. So there's different plants that love water and there's plants that hate it to be settled by their root. Okay. So this pepper is producing, guys. The truth is, pepper is a real beautiful plant to grow. Hey Keith, what's up, man? Pepper is a real beautiful plant to grow. It's really excited. For me, it's really excited growing pepper. You see how these things loaded, watch. These things loaded and all you're seeing is flowers and blossom still coming out there. Look at this one here. Everywhere. So what I'm saying is, guys, like I keep saying, and the spreading, if you notice the spreading, what I keep saying, if you notice the top, hey, Homestead Rachel, blessings to you. Exactly. Too much rain, too much water. A lot of plants does not like water at their roots. What they do, they rather the water drop and run out. They don't want it by the same thing I know explaining to them kids. I know explaining that right now about water and how it could damage your plant, back the growth. Now look at what's going on here. If you notice here, you're gonna see these peppers still producing new. You see they're still producing, they're growing and they're producing. This is important, guys. This is what, a lot of people grow peppers and they just give them one crop and that's it. If you understand how to grow pepper, they don't stop produce. And it's not to say it's one pepper plant. It happens in my garden, all of my pepper plant. This is one breed of pepper. These 4 pepper is the same. This bell pepper is the same. Same thing going on. Look here. Look at this thing here. Look how much pepper coming up on this. But they need staking. Look how much pepper. Look how much pepper. All the tree is loaded with pepper. And when you look at their top, you see they're still growing and they're still producing. Alright? I'm going to show you another pepper again. This is a cayenne pepper here. Look at it. Still growing, still producing. And it have pepper growing everywhere. This one have on pepper. What's growing pepper? And to the top, they still growing, still producing. Look at how they plant. Look at how they plant. Now, they plant on a bank. So when the rain come and the rain drop, what happen? The water run off and run away. So the rain gonna soak the soil, but the water is not gonna be settling by the soil. Look at this one again. This is the next one loaded with pepper right here. And look what's going on. Look to the top of it. It's still growing and it's still producing. This is how pepper plant operate. And like how I now show you, I show you several pepper, different pepper. This is different. Look at the next one here. Loaded with pepper, growing up here. Pepper everywhere on it. And to the top, you see it's still producing new leaf. Get ready to, same thing going on with this one. You have pepper coming up. Look to the top. You see pepper coming up and it's still producing flowers. Right? So this is what I'm saying, guys. You have to understand how to deal with your pepper in order for them to produce continuously, in order for them to be growing while producing. Some plants, there's a lot of peppers that I see people growing, they gonna produce a crop, then they just stop. They stop growing, they're not producing nothing more. Look at this one. This is a cayenne pepper, and this is growing some. And this is growing some giant cayenne pepper, and still to the top they still produce it. So basically what I'm trying to explain, guys, our pepper plant. Hey Pure Grow, what's up, man? Blessing to you, big up yourself. Yes, so our pepper plants really can really produce a lot of pepper for us if we understand how to deal with them, how to keep them growing. All right, the next thing again, you want to make sure that you feed them properly. And my experience with bell pepper plant is, I think they prefer organic matter more than any kind of compost could ever put around them. I think they prefer organic matter. Yeah, they do. For my experience, organic matter, and you also could break it down into liquid compost tea or liquid fertilizer. They work really better in that form. Yes, so especially pepper, definitely, yes, they work better in that form. That's facts I'm giving you right here. You will see, because I'm going to tell you this. And when you need to add, I'm going to give you a little idea of when to add compost tea or compost to your pepper plant. The first thing you want to do, you want to prepare the soil the year before, which is in the fall, and you just allow it to break down. Right? In the winter, all is spring. Winter, you get in the garden and you start opening up the holes then. Now you want to put at least 12 inches hole depth. 12 inches depth. You could add a little compost down inside of it, and you could mix it up with some soil and just leave it there. Allow the rain and everything to deal with that. In the spring now, you comes out and you start planting. When you start planting, that compost already start breaking down, feeding the pepper. So now the pepper have food to get somewhere. When you realize, you see a really bright green color, really beautiful green, you just watch it grows. When you see it come that time, when you see flowers, it start pushing flowers, you come and you hit it another boost, whether it's liquid compost tea or breakdown compost, well breakdown compost. I'm not talking about wood that did not break down. Well breakdown compost. You put that around that, and then it rain or you wet it, the plants, it strengthens itself just like a pregnant woman. You know, a pregnant woman, when it's getting ready to, when you have the baby, they need nutrients, you know, they need a lot of energy to carry that baby. Same thing with the plant. So once you're able to give it that energy, that's when the plant's gonna be producing. Because you feed it well, it's well fed. You set up the soil since in the fall. Then you come in the spring, early spring, late winter, add some compost in the hole. The plant well fed, so you have enough nutrients, enough mineral carbon inside that to take that plant until your growing season over, which is the fall. So guys, I gave you so much information today. I don't know. All I could tell you, you can try and see if it works for you. But this is why I always get successful garden, because and many people follow what I'm saying, and the feedback is amazing. The feedback is amazing. A lot of people follow my step because a lot of people trying to eat organic food. And I always say, if you're growing it, you should make it, grow it natural. So a lot of people is really following me and applying, and I'm getting good feedback, which is great because I know it works. Once the bloom come, you have to give it more. Yes, because that is like a pregnant woman. She need nutrient to carry that baby, to feed that baby so she could get a healthy baby. So yes guys, to be successful, you got to do your own research in your own garden. You could gather information, but until you don't do it in your garden and see it actually works, it's just information. You see what I'm coming from? Until you ain't do it, until you ain't apply the information and see the facts from the information that you get, it's just information. It's just information. You cannot prove it because you didn't even try. So my challenge to you is, when you're growing peppers, the method I gave you today, if you feel like trying, if you have 2 bell pepper, prune one and don't prune the other one. And see which one does best. If you want to see how water deal with bell pepper, then you could plant one and just have water settle around its root, and you'll see the difference. And plant one where the water drains and run away, and you'll see the difference. This is how you learn. This is how you see. This is how you know. So don't just take my word. I want you apply. Apply it and see it works for you. Don't get me wrong, there's many different plants I will prune. I'll prune the tomato. Why would I prune the tomato? Because sometimes it helps. Sometimes without the air, it creates some fungus on the leaves. So sometimes clipping off them leaves help create a better airflow, that you could get a better healthy plant. Also, clipping some of them big limbs also help, which we see proving that as well, also help the plant to grow and produce even more. But when you're talking about bell pepper, I don't think it's a good idea pruning them. And I explained that a minute ago. Hey Amo, how you doing? Hey Peter, how you doing? Blessing. Who am I to know better than Mother Nature? Well, you see, the thing is, hey Dave, how you doing? Blessings. You see, let me explain something to somebody, right? Who am I to know better than Mother Nature? Well, here now, Mother Nature teaches us. That's the thing. Mother Nature teaches us. So if we don't want to pay attention and learn from Mother Nature, then that's our problem, right? I do not want to grow a garden that do not produce food. You see what I'm saying? I do not want to grow a garden that only produce plants with no food. So what I do, I observe nature and how nature operates. So we learn from nature. And when we learn from nature, we understand what we have to do to get these plants to produce the way they should or the way we want them to. If we allow nature in our garden, you know what's going to happen? If we plant a garden and we allow nature to take over the garden, do you understand what's going to happen? Could someone tell? Could someone, what you know, blessings? Could someone, how about topping them off only for more branches? Well, you can top them off, and what they're gonna do is spread. That's possible. If you top them off, they're not gonna grow tall. What they're gonna do is spread. So you can do that. They're just gonna spread more. Instead of grow up tall, they're gonna spread. You can do that. You definitely can do that. Exactly. Sure, it's good to have pretty plants, but with no production. What am I? So let's go back to what the brother said. If we allow nature, if we come in our garden, we plant our peppers, we plant our okra, we plant whatever we plant, and we just leave it to nature alone, you know what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Nature gonna take it over. You're gonna see vines running up on your plants. You're gonna see weeds stifling down your plants them can't grow. You're gonna see all that. So because we understand, yo, we gotta get in this garden and deal with these weeds because we're not gonna able to get no food. So we don't know everything, but we learn from what we do and what we experience. So it's not about who are you to teach. Number one, we cannot teach nature. Number two, we only could receive from nature. Number three, we don't know everything. But what we do know from our experience. This is why I was now saying, don't prune them. Because you allowing nature, that's a form of allowing nature to do its job. Like I now say, don't walk around picking off bell pepper off your bell pepper tree because nature gonna release the ones it don't need. The pepper already formed, what it do? And it's gonna drop it off. So I don't need to go around, oh my pepper tree have on too much, let me pick off some. I don't need to do that. Nature gonna do that. But how do I know that? Because of what I saw. So when we're doing this, we learn from nature. We cannot teach nature. Nature teaches us. You see what I'm saying? So we have to learn from nature, and when we learn from nature, we get more understanding. Then what we do, we come back the following year and we apply what we learn. If our garden didn't do well last year, we're not going back and do the same thing we did last year. We're gonna change up some things. And this is what I've been doing for years. Growing realizing, and in gardening there's no mistake. There's no mistake in gardening. It's just a learning process. Use it as a data. Use it as, okay, you store that information. Wait, I remember last year I grew my pepper them in water. Though I remember that when the rain come, the water was settling around their root. And when I noticed, they didn't do well at all. The following year, you store that as a data, memory. The following year, you make sure you ain't plant these pepper that no water gonna soak at their root. Then when you do that and then you see, oh wow, look how these pepper produce this year. No, you find it. And that's what you keep doing. So it's a learning lesson. Yes, it's a learning lesson, guys. Alright guys, don't forget to hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, you can subscribe to the channel. We always go live. We have over almost 3,000 videos on our channel that you can watch. You can see the production. You can see so many different things. So if you haven't hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. And remember to hit the notification bell so every time we go live, you be notified. I'm gonna be ending pretty soon because I think my battery gonna be, or if the battery cut off, if the life cut off, it's because it's the battery. No, eggplant, I'll prune eggplant because I've realized something with eggplant. Because right where the eggplant is, let me show you why I prune eggplant. Let me show you why I prune eggplant. Now, on every one of these limbs, there's gonna be a new growth coming up right there. So let me show you, see, right here. There's this limb, there's a new growth. So this, you could get rid of this. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'll prune eggplant. These eggplant need ready to harvest. Okay, what you know for sure, thanks. Experiment and experience, definitely. I replace weed with food plant that do the same job as we. All right, okay. You do what works for you guys. And you learn along the way. You see? God, these eggplant need harvest, man. I know harvest these. You see, this is what I'm talking about, guys. Plants keep producing. Last week, I harvest over 10 eggplant, right? And look what's going on again. They're ready to harvest again. So to me, it's about production, guys. And if you're doing something and you're getting great result, why not continue? You see? No. These eggplant, I harvest from this, I harvest from this one, I harvest from all of them. But you know, they're still growing. Getting ready to produce more. They're still growing. Over here, watch. Over here, this plant is pretty tall. They're still growing. This is what I'm talking about, guys. We don't believe in our plant produce one crop and stop. No, we believe in our plant continue producing. So let me see when we're ready for harvest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's one over there, 9, 8. And we have a few down here to harvest. It's all about production, guys. Thank you guys for taking me to 20 likes today. I truly appreciate it, guys. I truly appreciate it. Thank you all so much. But like I said, guys, you don't have to prune the plant. Okay, Progo say I just harvest 5 eggplant last week. I know. All right, that's what I'm talking. Production, production. Now, like someone now asked me, if you prune the top, would it not grow and produce more limb? Yes, it's gonna spread. That's true, definitely. But it's gonna hard to get up here up to 7, 8 feet. You're not gonna be seeing that. Where you're gonna see them short on the ground and just spreading out, which is a good idea. If you don't want them to get tall, you can do that as well. You see what I'm saying? You can pick their top out like when they're young. Not now, you don't want to do that now, because these are peppers going on. I'm not going to do this at this point. It's too, to me, this is too late now. If you want to do that, sometimes I do that when the plant is like a baby. Eggplant sucker make new plant when you cut them and put them in a new pot. Oh, really? All right. Well, you know I'm going to try that. Thanks for that information. Thank you so much for that information. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate that. You know I'm going to try that next year. Yes, guys. So, my thing is not about just coming in the garden and plant food. My thing is figuring out how am I going to get the most out of these plants. Yes. How am I going to get the most out of these plants? This is always my goal. How am I going to get the most out of these plants? It's not me just coming and growing and no. I want to know how am I getting the most out of these plants. And it's the greatest thing. And it's not impossible for you to find that out. It's not impossible for you to find that out. It's very much possible. So you see, all these you see, these still growing. We now harvest from them, but they're still growing. They're still growing. And like the brother now said, next year I'm gonna be trying exactly what he now said to me there. Yes, definitely. And these pure grow, this is what you was talking about, pure grow, the callaloo. Because this is what we also use for callaloo. This eyeline, this is a good crop you might like to grow. You might definitely like to grow this kind of plant. You could, because these young ones, these while they're growing, you can take these, harvest these, and these you can cut them up and cook them like collard greens. You understand what I'm saying? Cook them till they boil down, like how you cook collard greens. All right, so this is it, right? Okay, this is real food right here. This is real food right here, guys. So we don't just garden, guys. We garden with intention of having good harvest. We gardening with intention. We garden with intention of our plants supposed to strive. Yes, okay. Our plants supposed to strive the way they're supposed to. And how can you get that? Is by growing them natural. How can you get these things? Is by growing them. The greatest result you could see out of a garden is when you grow in a natural garden. You will get result that you astonish, you can't believe. the things you see. How do you get that? A natural garden. And like I say, guys, it's not gonna happen overnight, but the more you do it, is the more you're gonna see the result. And don't ever pull back yourself. Don't ever pull back yourself. Once you continue, once you wanna do it natural, continue. Don't get distracted. Because there's a lot of things out there to distract us from actually doing what we need to do to keep it natural. So you might have a natural garden that you've been working on 3-4 years. The next thing you see a guy telling you about something that he put in his soil. You get distracted and you go on for the same thing. No. The kind of result I get, how can I not stick to what I'm doing? Natural is about the taste. That's what I'm talking about, Peter. That's what I'm talking about, natural. You have to learn. Let me tell you some tricks I use over the years. Sometimes when my plant reach a certain height, what I'll do, I will take out the weeds them out of the garden. I will leave the weeds them and I will watch the plants and how it operates with the weeds. I'll see, is it growing better or is it the growth stop? If I see they're growing really well with that type of weeds, I take them weeds and I turn them into compost. Maybe I might make some compost tea with them and feed my plant with them, because I've seen how they operate. My plants operate with them. These are things you got to do, guys. This is how you get the production you're looking for. This is how you could get the beautiful taste you're looking for. You see what I'm coming from? It takes time, but once you get it there, it's there. And you want to grow. Think about what you're growing. If you grow an eggplant and they only produce one crop for you, something ain't right. You ain't doing something right. Something is not right. Maybe something is up with your soil. Because eggplant produce. Well, from my experience, they don't start produce until the frost. So, if you're not seeing production, you got to change up what you're doing. Like I said, if you're doing it natural, once you get it going, that's it. You just continue to do what you're doing. You know? But if you don't, you want to add all different type of stuff to it, then that's on you. You can't blame no one. You got to blame yourself. I'm going to show you let me show you something. You could take weeds that you pull up, you could put them in some water, and this is it right here. Put them in water for at least 3 months or more, This is it right here. I'm going to give somebody this. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, you could use a weed in your garden, that same weed that you see growing up in your garden, that doing nice with your plant, take them, put some in some water for at least 2 months or more. This is natural food. So over the years, you said it. You said it, David. You said it. Weed wine. Thank you. I love that name. I love the song of that. I love the song of that, David. Weed wine. Definitely. Like I was saying, over the years, what I was doing, I was actually like digging trench and then bury like the tree trunk. Like a tree trunk might fall, I might lift it up and bury it and cover it with dirt. All the leaves that drop down in the fall, I take them and I spread them and cover them with soil. This is what I do in the fall. In the fall, I take the leaf and I spread them out and cover them with soil. Then in the winter, late winter, I go down and start opening up my holes then. So every year, the soil get maintained. Every year. And this is what's matter. Maintaining them. These same leaf that you see fall from the tree, trust me, they can help create a beautiful soil in your garden. All right? I want to harvest these eggplant